Hey everybody, I'm David and welcome to OcTalk, the series where we talk about ocarinas and other music stuff. One of the most overlooked aspects of owning an ocarina or multiple ocarinas is how you keep them safe and protected on a regular basis, especially if you have to transport them from time to time. And so I've tried a lot of different things over the years. So I thought I'd share with you some of my favorite and most affordable ocarina cases and pouches, and all of these cost under $30 or less. And to kick things off, I wanted to start with the pouches that are free. And usually when you buy a transverse ocarina, they come with something like this. It's a very thin fabric pouch. Might have a little bit of padding on the inside, usually with a button closure like that. And all you would do is you slip the ocarina in like so. And the main thing that these are good for is just keeping them from being scratched. So it's not a very thick or well padded case. It's just in case you want to put it somewhere where it could potentially be scratched. And so that's what these are good for. What I do want to caution you with is that if you have a case with a metal button, that you make sure that the inside of the case has some sort of fabric or padding that's going to keep the ocarina from being scratched by the metal closure, because you do press down on it to close it like that. So just double check that if your transverse ocarina comes with it. If it did not come with a case like this, what you could also do is make your own. Now these here are drawstring bags, and most of these came with ocarinas that I've purchased in the past. Again, they're very thin, not great in the padding department, but they're really easy to make. So if you have a little bit of fabric and some string, you can basically turn anything into a fabric little pocket or pouch to slip the ocarinas into, like this one. Again, it's just made to be scratch resistant, so don't expect that this is going to be keeping it from breaking up from a drop or something like that. But you can basically use any material. You can sew them by hand, and you can make them any size you want. So those are definitely some pros for that. And when it comes to custom pouches, these are some of my favorite. These here are made by my friend Little Marin, and she makes them in a variety of different sizes from a type of quilt material. And she's a cosplayer, so she knows how to sew very well. And these are really cool, especially because these larger sizes are very rare when you're looking for pouches and cases for larger ocarinas, like my Noble Base C, which fits perfectly in this case here like this. And it has that Velcro closure there as well, which is pretty good. It's pretty sturdy. And then it has this strap which you can carry around. That's very well sewn in as well. They come in a variety of different sizes. You'd have to request them because they're made on commission, so you can contact her through her Facebook page, find out what she has available, find out what she can make for you in terms of color and sizes. Those run for about $12 to $15 each depending on the size. And after I got a hold of those, I asked if she can make some custom pouches for me, so we started designing these, which I really like in terms of versatility and additional protection. So these here come in two different sizes so far. There's a small one which fits sopranos very well, and then a larger one which fits larger soprano Gs and alto Cs very nicely as well. And what I like about these is that we included this tongue flap, which gives you extra walls of protection on the inside. So what you would do is you would tuck it in like that. You would take your ocarina, which like this one here, which works really well for pendants, and then you can actually tuck it over like that and give you that extra protection there. And what's also cool is that it makes this little pocket in the back for smaller ocarinas like Sopranino. That's what this is. You can just tuck that in there, and it fits naturally in this little pocket area from there. It has a Velcro closure as well, and then this wrist strap, which you can carry on your wrist or you can attach to a backpack or something, and it's very snug. It fits it very nicely for pendants and then soprano C ocarinas on these. Those come in a couple different colors, and we make these larger ones for alto C size ocarinas, and these are really cool because they come in a bunch of different custom fandom fabrics. So like this one's The Legend of Zelda, there's one for Doctor Who, Hello Kitty, Star Wars, and a couple other fabrics that we're working on right now. And these are very similar to the smaller ones. They have that tongue flap on the inside, so you just take your alto C and slip it in like so, close the Velcro, and they fit very nicely, very snug. And again, you could stick something in here like a songbook or something if you wanted to. Doctor Who for the time traveler fans. Hello Kitty, that one's very cute. And the Star Wars. And these run for $18 and $20 on the larger ones. One of the only ocarina makers I've seen so far to offer a variety of ocarina cases is Songbird Ocarina. They make these in their workshop, and these come in a couple different sizes and colors as well, and they run for $15. And these actually are pretty well padded. They have a thick line of batting on the inside, I guess it's a similar, it's not exactly a quilting material, it's a little bit softer. And what I like about these is they have this loop built in that's sewn very sturdily, and you can actually put this on a belt. So if you wanted to carry it on your side, that's super cool. They use a magnetic closure, which is interesting. And they make them large enough to fit their large models ocarina, like their Dragon Tooth and their Muse. And they come with this stretchy elastic rope so you can strap it across your chest or wear it around your arm. And because it's super stretchy, you might have to adjust the knot to make sure it doesn't stretch too far down. But that's pretty easy to take off in case you want to replace it with something else. And then to help us transition into harder cases, they actually sell this treasure chest, which I think is really cool. And this runs for $15 as well. It comes with a kind of a paper lining on the inside. So what that's good for is you can just set your ocarina on top of it, like the Ocarina of Time, and it gives you a little backdrop like that. So it'll fit Alto Cs and smaller very nicely. And then of course you can do the classic. Oh, it's even shiny. But again, this is mostly just good for display. So let's go ahead and transition into hard cases that are meant for travel. When it comes to hard cases, these are super affordable. These are actually gun cases, but because ocarinas have a very similar shape, these fit very nicely. These run for about $5 to $7 each at most sporting goods stores. These are single handgun cases, and what's really nice about these is they actually have a foam interior. If the ocarina is inside long enough, they'll take to the shape of the ocarina without damaging it at all, and they fit perfectly. You can see the size thing there. There's one for almost every size. This is for soprano C ocarinas. That fits very nicely like that. And then you have a size that's better for alto C ocarinas and soprano Gs. Soprano Gs actually might fit in either one of these, but these are really good for that as well. These are made from plastic, by the way. So while they might survive a fall, I wouldn't put too much pressure on top of these just because it is plastic. Even with the foam in there, I wouldn't risk it with an ocarina, but they will survive a drop. And then of course you have the larger ones. So if you want to put a Muse or a Dragon Tooth or some other long ocarina, this fits in there very nicely. Now the thing I don't like about these cases is that they're not custom fit to the ocarina. So for an ocarina that's like $60 to $200, I don't know if I'd risk it because they do actually shake inside. So I don't know if you can hear that. So what I like to do sometimes is I will actually put it in a thin case like we showed at the beginning, and then put that inside here, and that actually helps prevent some of that shaking. See, you can't really hear that. So for $5 to $7 each, that is not a bad deal. Now these are a little more pricier. These go for about $15 to $25. This is about a 4-piece handgun case. It's got a double closure there. This is also foam on the inside, so that's nice. And this is the one I'll actually take to airports a lot of the time. People will give you funny looks for carrying around a handgun case, but when you put it through the metal detector thing, you don't have to worry about that at all. So you can usually put 3, 4, 5 ocarinas in here and no problem at all. The only problem that you might encounter is, again, if you put them in there without the thinner cases, they will move around and they will scratch. So you just got to be careful with how you position them in there and if you're going to keep them without the cases. If you put the cases on them, the smaller thin ones, then it's going to be a little bulkier. They might be a little bit harder to squeeze in, but if you leave them off, this is what happens. They'll scratch each other, and I think I actually have scratched this one before somewhere around here, so that was kind of a bummer. So I've kind of learned my lesson. I try to put them inside the cases, and if you do that, you can maybe fit 3, sometimes 4 in there. Then finally I have this big boy here. This is a Plano protector, but you can get this size gun case from a couple different makers. And what I like about this is these are really good for carrying entire collections, or small collections anyway, of ocarinas. Again, these have the foam on the inside, and usually what they'll have is some sort of picking foam here in the center where you can actually pick out custom areas for your ocarinas and maybe squeeze in 4 or 5 that way. So it's just specifically for those ocarinas or the size ocarinas, and you can take them on the go. They fit very nicely. But what I like to do is I took out the picking foam layer, and now I can squeeze in just about as many as I want. But I leave the ocarinas in the cases so they don't move around too much. They don't scratch each other. I can fit the Noble Bass in there. I can fit a couple Alto Cs like the Dragon Tooth, the Oot, and you can just custom fit them however you want. And as long as it's snug, it's usually fine. It's usually okay. And that foam keeps them all nicely safe in there. And you can take this anywhere you want on the go. That's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'd love to know how you keep your ocarina safe and protected on a regular basis. Leave a comment down below to let me know. A very special thank you to my patrons who are helping make these videos possible. If you'd like to know how you can help support these videos, you can click the little eye up here or this link over here to go straight to my Patreon page. And if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and check back every Monday for new episodes of OcTalk. I'll see you guys then.